One of my earliest days, Warren Outlaw, my supervisor, he showed me a financial aid form. And I looked at that, and it was all paper back then. And I looked at that form and I thought to myself, how on earth am I ever going to be able to help students with this long, complicated form? And then little did I know that as time went on, um, that's the thing I think I'm most known for in the community is financial aid assistance counseling. So I think that's really interesting and a bit ironic that on one of my earliest days I looked at the form and thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle this. I've always loved colleges. I've always loved working with young people because it just seemed to be ideal for me. And the idea of working with young people and helping them with their college planning and helping them to get into colleges throughout the country, it just all kind of melded together where I thought, oh, that would be just a great position to have if I was lucky enough to be offered it.
Well, to be honest with you, I was kind of oblivious to even where I live. My mom and my dad were extremely strict. On Chapin was the Vice Lords, and on Washington was the Disciples, and those are like rival gangs. I was not a part of the gangs, but I was a product of that environment as it relates to adversity, anger, emotions. So at that time, my grade point average dropped from like a 2.8 to like a 1.95.
What they call college readiness now, I don't think they had a name for it back then. I think it was just something that they did and things that they knew that we needed to know about and things that we needed when it was time for graduation so that when we got there, we could stay there. So.
My mom kind of said, oh, you need to do this. It's going to be good for college. The people will help you, like they have a lot of resources.
Just to have that support group where I could come and have these tutors and these counselors help me and answer questions and kind of give me that support, it's huge.
You know, you're dealing with familiar faces, people that look like you, and there come this white-haired, white dude come in, and I'm like, who is that? Over time, I found out that Mr. Dessis had the same heart as Mrs. Coleman and Mr. Outlaw, and he was willing to give of himself. Sometimes he would be at the school more than them.
And I'm telling you, I never really even had conversations with my counselors. To be honest with you, it was Mr. James Dessis that came into the school and he looked at my grades from my freshman and sophomore year, and he had a conversation with me about knowing that college was still an option for me. It was like a ray of hope, at the time, because nobody in my family had graduated from college.
He had such a great impact on me just in my development. He was kind of my transition from being a good student who didn't really have confidence in themselves and wasn't really able to self-promote and, sell themselves, and he really made me kind of instilled that self-worth, and I just really appreciate that, and I think that I've carried that through my life.
I just think there's something so exciting about a student who's the first in the family to go to college. And then that person is always going to be remembered at family reunions or the oral family history. And that person's always going to have a special place. And then you see others follow. You see little brothers and sisters or nephews or nieces. And the family is so proud. And I think that can be one of the most significant events in a family's history, is that first person to go off to college.
I applied to one college, which was Central State University. And I remember getting that letter and being excited and calling and telling him whatever. And he was confident that, with my grades from my freshman year to my junior year, which I learned now a lot of times that's what college is kind of based on, the acceptance on, was that, it wasn't the end of the road.
He helped a lot of guys, man, find jobs and able to go back to Ivy Tech and pick up a certificate from Ivy Tech. And so Mr. Dessis has been laying it down for a long time, man, and I'm very thankful for people like him, but very thankful for him.
You know, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all you've done. And, you know, you're an angel. You are. You truly are an angel. Thank you.